Hello and welcome, it's the Crocheteer here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet a simple flower. Here is the simple flower we'll be learning how to make. So if you enjoy the tutorial, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe for more free and easy patterns just like this. So in today's pattern, we're going to be making a flower with white leaves, a green stalk, and a yellow core. You can change these colours up however you like. We're also going to be using a 3.5 crochet hook, and I have my 1.7mm crochet hook here as well, which I'm going to be using for the sewing, but if you wish you can just get a sewing needle. You'll also need a pair of scissors. So, with our 3.5mm crochet hook, we're going to start with the yellow. We're going to make our slip knot. And then do 2 chains. Now we are going to single crochet 6 stitches into the first chain. And here we have our 6 stitches around the first chain. Now we're going to insert our crochet hook into the first single crochet stitch we did. Now, taking our white wool, we're in the process of changing colours. We're going to get our white wool, put it around the hook, and pull a loop of white wool through. And then you pull the tailing end so it's not too long. Now, you pull that white loop through the yellow loop. This leaves you with a yellow circle, but now we have a white loop on our hook. Now we're going to do 8 chains. There's the 8 chains. Now we're going to slip stitch back into the first single crochet. This will give us our first petal. Now we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, and we're going to do another 8 chains. We're going to repeat this process until we've gone all the way around. So we're going to slip stitch back into the same stitch we started in, slip stitch into the next stitch, and do 8 chains. Now we're going to slip stitch back into the stitch we started our chains from, into the next stitch, we're going to do a slip stitch, and we're going to do another 8 chains. we're now going to slip stitch back into our first stitch. And then into the next stitch we're going to do a slip stitch and another 8 chains. We're going to slip stitch back into the original stitch. Going to slip stitch into the next single crochet. Going to do 8 chains. We're going to slip stitch back into the original slip stitch, and we're going to slip stitch into our last single crochet. At this point it is your choice whether you give it another petal. I am to fill this gap here, so I'm going to single crochet another 8 stitches and single crochet back into the original hole. This leaves my flower with 7 petals. Now, getting your scissors, going to cut the wool nice and short. Also cut the yellow wool nice and short. Pull the white wool through to cast off. And now we're just going to hide the threads that are sticking out. So, I'm just going to pull the white wool through the white areas of the flower a few times. This will hide its presence. Essentially, we're tucking it into the flower. Once you've pulled it in enough times, you can just cut the wool nice and close. And then you repeat with each of the coloured strands. So the yellow one I'm going to wrap into the middle part of the flower. And then we're going to cut it short. And finally we're going to wrap this white string in here. I'm going to wrap it through the front a few times here because I can see some yellow peeping through. So it always helps to get rid of this wool by wrapping it around any yellow wool you don't want to see. It's like post-processing an image, except with crochet. And there we have it. So, now this flower is technically complete. However, I'm going to add a stalk on the back so it can be held. So, to do this, we're going to use our green wool. It's very simple. We're going to do a slip knot, and we're going to do 8 chains. Sorry, we're going to do 9 chains in fact. This is just how many I'm doing. If you want a longer stalk, you could do 15 chains, but always do one more chain than the amount you want the length to be. So we've done 9 because I want 8 chains to be used, because this last chain is not going to be used in our slip stitches. So we're going to slip stitch back up the first 8, missing out the last chain we did. So we're just going to slip stitch up to the end. If you did 15, then you'd do 14 slip stitches. If you did 21, you'd do 20. If you did less, if you did like 4, you'd only do 3. So it's your choice on how long you want your stalk to be, obviously. Now we've slip stitched up, we're going to cut the wool relatively long. I'd say about 5 centimeters ish. So there's my bit of string. Now I'm going to pull it through. And there's the stalk. So this is where I'm going to use my smaller hook. So getting the back of the flower is how you're going to attach it. So with my smaller hook here, it's easier to pick up random loops from my previous stitches. So I'm going to pick up this loop here, and I'm going to pick up a loop on the other side, and that's untucked some wool, but that's fine, I'll tuck it in afterwards. Now, getting the green wool, we're going to pull it through. If you're doing this with a sewing needle, you do exactly the same thing, except you put this through your sewing needle and just pull it through a few loops. Now I'm going to tie with this bit of string. I haven't left much string here, which is not ideal, but it's still tieable, luckily. You can always use a crochet hook to help pull the wool through a loop when you're knotting. And now the stalk is attached to the flower. So, finally, to get rid of the green wool, we're going to pull it through the stalk a few times. So I'm just going to pull this back and forth down the stalk. Once we've completed this, the flower is going to be done. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure to comment if there's anything else you'd like to see me make. There we have it. I'm just going to tuck this little yellow wool in here. Okay, that did not help. I just pulled it out even more. Look at that. Made a mess. Right. And there we go. Here is the completed flower. So like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching. Bye.